I suppose, I've been to a lot of UKIP, Brexit, now Reform Party conferences, and I'm going to kind of challenge you in suggesting that in many ways they've all been the same, which is there's always one issue and there's always you. And your strategy now is to try and make this a major political party that is a party of government. How do you do that?
Well, you have to start winning elections. And that sounds silly, but you have to start winning elections from the bottom up. You've got to win council seats, whether it's district or unitary, whether it's seats in Wales, seats in Scotland. Success breeds success. And I think one of the most significant things that happened this year, and the first past the post system has always been my absolute bête noire all through my political career, is having established that beachhead in Parliament, people can see that by voting reform, you can actually get a reform.
In this interview, Nigel Farage delivered sharp responses and clever jabs that deeply unsettled the presenter. Rather than merely countering the criticism, he left the host visibly frustrated with his provocative inquiries, causing him to appear uncertain and bewildered. Let's explore this intriguing exchange and uncover why Farage seemed to dominate the situation. The host was resolute in his efforts to put Farage on the spot, and while he was genuinely trying his hardest, it only heightened the tension. The interview kicked off with a pivotal question, to which Nigel responded with a chilling, almost frosty confidence. The irony of the moment is striking. A British politician traveling across the Atlantic to foster better ties between Britain and America is facing intense backlash for not being present in the workplace.
How much worse could it be? How much worse could it be than what we've had under these Conservatives? How much more of our lives can be controlled? How much more could we be filmed and fined? How much more could we be locked down? Can it really be that much worse? Well, it might be a little bit worse, but I tell you this, very often in life, things need to get worse before they can get better. I repeat the point, as the general election approaches, people will know Labour have won already. So there'll be a huge battle going on for what is the opposition to that Labour Party. Is it the current parliamentary Conservative Party? Or is it, dare I call it, the Conservative movement that exists out in...
Nigel wasted no time in declaring that sending 100 Labour Party staff to support Kamala Harris was a significant diplomatic blunder. Let's pause for a moment to appreciate the absurdity of this scenario. It feels like the premise of a failed sitcom planning to dispatch a British infantry regiment to meddle in US elections. What's the objective here? He also seized the moment to criticize Sadiq Khan for his long-standing feud with Trump and took aim at the British Foreign Secretary for making disrespectful remarks about Trump early in their relationship. This kind of disrespect is a classic example of British understatement, a subtle way of saying, "Please don't make us look bad." It's like masking true feelings with a veneer of politeness, which only serves to underscore the ridiculousness of the situation. But hold on, Nigel's suggestion adds an even more thrilling twist. Roll out the red carpet. Yes, you heard that right. According to Nigel, our relationship with the United States is the most crucial connection in the world. And honestly, he's spot on. With a focus on intelligence, defense, and trade, Nigel had a clear vision and wasn't about to be sidetracked.
Oh, I frankly think that is just an ignorant comment that is made. It's baseless, but we had a problem in the election campaign. You see, and if you throw mud at me, and none of what you throw is true, it makes no difference, it doesn't stick. The problem in the election campaign is that those that wished us harm used the racist word, and we had candidates who genuinely were. That's what hurt us so much in the last few days. And the job that Zia and I have got is to make sure that those kind of people are just no part of this.
Would you be comfortable living in a majority non-white country?
Well, if I lived in Birmingham, I'd be there already, wouldn't I? And we are in Birmingham.
But you don't like that, though.
Look, what I said very clearly out there on the stage earlier is we, as a party, couldn't care less what colour you are.
Well, it's time to indulge in a bit of humour and imagination. The presenter certainly accused Nigel of having a special bond with Trump, not in terms of diplomatic relations between the UK and the US, but rather a personal affinity. She suggested that Nigel seems to be more enamored with Trump than with the gripping true crime documentaries on Netflix. Naturally, Nigel just smiled, treating it as a light-hearted jab, and mentioned that he had spoken with prominent members of the Labour Party and was willing to help address the situation. What followed was a clever move that was hard to overlook. Nigel Farage began to act as if he had a trump card up his sleeve once again. But here's the catch, he was right. Whether he likes it or not, Farage is one of the few British politicians who genuinely knows the key figures in Washington. And let's not forget the presenter's failed attempt to trap him. The claim that he prioritizes Trump over the interests of his constituents backfired, as Nigel made it clear that he was open to collaborating with anyone, be it Labour, Conservatives, or others, for the benefit of Britain.
I try not to, because if you worried too much, you wouldn't be able to do what you do. I mean, it is sad that we have levels of intolerance in politics, and indeed on both sides, but we have levels of intolerance in politics that mean it can be a very dangerous career to pursue. I hate that. I hate the lack of freedom, but it is what it is.
Does it keep you awake at night?
No. No, it doesn't keep me awake at night.
You're an astute political operator. Do you honestly think you can be the next Prime Minister?
I think it's possible, yeah.
You honestly do?
It may not be probable, but it's certainly possible, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we don't need to change the minds of a single voter. On the really big issues about country, identity, all of those things that we talk about, there are enough voters in Britain now for us to win the general election without changing a single person's.
Whether you like it or not, Trump is back, and Nigel has emphasized that Britain must adapt to this new reality. Farage effortlessly brushed aside every accusation and criticism the presenter directed at him, almost as if he were engaged in a game of political ping-pong, and it was truly captivating to witness. Regardless of your stance on him, Farage has been instrumental in shaping the relationship between Britain and the United States. This is crucial because if the British government cannot set aside its personal feelings about Trump, it may find itself depending on Nigel and his connections in Washington.
Nigel Farage, at PMQs, what would be your first question?
Oh, that'll depend on where we are. I'm guessing by the time of the first PMQs that I get a chance, I'm guessing the boats will be coming across the channel in droves. So I expect it may be around that issue.
You said this was a message to Labour. What is your message directly to Sir Keir Starmer?
My message would be that unless you control immigration, and if you dare take us closely back to the European Union, you will find yourself in 2029 in big electoral trouble. We are now after Labour, make no mistake.
And Clacton, what are your priorities for the local area? What do you want to see in Clacton change?
Money. It needs more tourists, it needs more investment. I haven't promised anything false in this campaign at all. I'd never do that, but I genuinely believe I can help.
The host, eager to gain the upper hand on Nigel, shifted his approach, and in that moment Nigel's expression said it all. He was prepared for any challenge. He employed one of the oldest strategies in the political playbook, showcasing the poise of a seasoned expert. Without missing a beat, Nigel asserted that the world has become safer under Donald Trump. He proudly highlighted the historic Abraham Accords peace agreements between Israel and Arab nations and emphasized that Trump did not initiate any wars. Rather, he boldly engaged with North Korea. The calm and assured manner in which he delivered this message left no room for counterattacks. His confidence and resilience were remarkable, and at that moment he truly appeared to be a winner, ready to tackle any obstacle.
The election's over. Labour have won. It's a foregone conclusion. That's done. It's over. The question is, who is going to provide opposition? And the Conservative Party will be in opposition, but they won't be the opposition. They hate each other. They're split down the middle. And what we need is a voice in there of genuine opposition and alternative. The Conservatives can't provide that reform if they win seats in Parliament. And
ultimately, and perhaps most significantly, this interview served as a striking example of how to assertively defend one's positions. People may have varying opinions about him, but Farage undoubtedly excels at navigating the political landscape. With that, Nigel Farage's captivating interview with the presenter has come to a close. Once again, Farage showcased his political prowess, not only standing firm in his beliefs, but also adeptly addressing any criticism. Whether you agree with his perspective or not, it's undeniable that Farage knows how to make an impression in any discussion. What are your thoughts on Nigel Farage's views expressed in this interview? Is the relationship between the UK and the US truly as vital as he suggests? See you next time.